a girl
and her gay watch the Magic School Bus.
It's the show where we yap about life, science, and go on an occasional rant about the state of the world. I'm Sarah.
And I'm Matt. We're your hosts, and we're here to invite you to our weekly yap sesh, bring you some 90s and 2000s nostalgia, and maybe teach you a little science.
Every Wednesday, we're hopping on the Magic School Bus, unpacking the science without the pressure of a pop quiz, and I'll be asking the questions I was too bored or afraid to ask in school.
Curiosity leads.
Chaos follows.
Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we are talking about Season 1, Episode 11, Magic School Bus Goes to Seed. Sarah, can you believe that we only have 2 more episodes to record in this season?
I can't. Every day has been a winding road.
Every day is a winding road. Before we get into the episode recap, what are you thinking about today?
Okay, I have been thinking about something, despite popular belief based on the last couple of episodes. I have thoughts. And this thought is actually a shower thought.
Ooh, I love a good shower thought.
Okay, so brace yourself. Okay, so I am a little bit of a crazy person and I cannot shower with nothing happening. Sometimes it's music, but a lot of the times I put on YouTube videos to take a shower too. And I found a good one. It was like 20 minutes long, perfect amount of time. And it was about Bermuda, the country of Bermuda. And I'm like, I know a little bit about Bermuda. I want to know more about Bermuda. So I put it on and the guy starts off being a little sensational about it. And immediately it kind of gave me a bit of an ick. I'm like, I clicked on your video. You claim to be an educator and you're being a little dramatic about Bermuda. So he starts talking about the history of it, right? Where it's like, you know, it is kind of a really interesting island. Been there a couple times. I don't know if you've been to Bermuda.
Never have.
I love it. I think it's so beautiful. It's really interesting. It's an old volcanic island in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. Basically, it's like on the same parallel as like the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Like if you look straight out into the Sea of Cape Hatteras, there it is. But it has a tropical climate, very unusual for being that far north. Anyway, interesting. They don't have any fresh water there. So everything that the country has, they have to import to support its, you know, I don't remember the population of it, but it's quite a lot of people that live there. Anyway.
All those people got lost in the triangle.
Yeah. So I think that's what Bermuda is most famous for, is the Bermuda Triangle. We didn't really learn about that in the video. But the whole point of all of this is I very often, I don't know how to say it, as per this podcast, if I want to learn something, I'm usually starting from scratch, something that I just don't know anything about. I find a trusted source or two, I dive into it. And I just consider that to hopefully be correct. And it was really interesting for me to kind of be reminded that that is not acceptable. You can't just absorb something and go, that's a fact. Because half the things that he said were correct. And half of them were not true at all. He's like, Bermuda gets wrecked by Category 5 hurricanes multiple times a year. And I'm like,
No?
Rarely. I think it's been decades since a hurricane has actually made landfall in Bermuda.
Yeah. Because
he's like, so how does a country so small with no natural resources survive? And I'm like, well, it doesn't get demolished. So it's not the same as Caribbean
if
islands.
it's in the same parallel as Outer Banks.
Right. It goes between, it's a little breezy. Get some rain, some
I don't think
swells, but
yeah, that's really a normal path for a hurricane.
Yeah. And so I was like, well, wait a minute. Hold on. I know the truth about something. And a simple Google search is okay, we have actual verifiable data on the amount of hurricanes that make landfall in Bermuda for the last 200 years. How can you in good conscience consider yourself to be an educator on something if you're going to sensationalize it? And anyway, all of that to say, I was just really sorely reminded of the level of responsibility you have to have in wanting to know something in the sources you learn it from. That was just so disappointing. I don't know. And this video had hundreds of thousands of comments. It was oh, that's so crazy. And it's well, not true.
Yeah. It's interesting to the way in which information is so accessible these days,
Yeah.
which also means that misinformation is very accessible.
Yep.
But also, like, I was watching a clip of a TED Talk today where this woman was like, if you get stung by a jellyfish, what do you do? And the whole crowd
You
yells out,
pee on
pee
it.
on it. And she's like, no. She's like, everyone believes that. But
Yeah.
like, it was a joke in an episode of Friends
Oh,
40 years ago.
that's so funny.
Not 40 years ago, 30 years ago, I
Yeah,
guess.
don't age us that much.
25.
Yeah.
But yeah, so to your point, we always have not been great at fact checking. We like, I think, want to believe people,
Yeah.
but maybe do need to be called to be a little more skeptical.
But I'm excited about this episode
Yeah.
because it's about plants.
Yeah. Should I recap it for our listeners?
Recap it and then we'll get into it.
All right. So Carlos opens with us being very, very excited about how he's going to become famous because the school has such a spectacular garden and a photographer is coming to film it. They're going to get on the cover of a magazine and then they're all going to be like rolling in a limousine.
Yes.
But it seems that like part of this whole contest or whatever featurette that they've been selected for, each of those students had to contribute something to the garden. And our dearest Phoebe has not contributed anything. So Tim has drawn a picture of Phoebe's flower, done an excellent job as a sketch artist. And
Beautiful.
Carlos like loses his mind. He's like, absolutely not. We need a real flower. And she's like, well, Mr. Seed Plot at my old school was supposed to send me one, but he never did. And they're like, great, we'll just go to your old school and get it. We have a bus. It's magic. Let's go. So they do. They fly there as a ladybug because that's faster than driving as a bus, apparently. Despite the fact that Mr. Seed Plot later bikes back.
Yeah,
between the
again,
schools.
I'm confused by you called it redistricting. Like, why did she have to change schools if it's 2 blocks over? That's crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, Mr. Seed Plot was her old teacher, and we find out that she is incredibly embarrassed of the magical antics of Miss Frizzle.
Ashamed. She's mortified.
Yeah. So they are a ladybug. They find her flower. They go down inside. They learn about nectar. They learn about bees drinking nectar. And then they almost get seen by Mr. Seed Plot. So she asks to be shrunk further into a grain of pollen.
Mm-hmm.
They get collected by a bee, moved around. And then they learn about how the pollen tubules get created and how they generate seeds. And they collect a seed, take it back home, do some magic to grow it up fast. And lo and behold, Mr. Seed Plot arrives with the plant that he had promised Phoebe because he is a conscientious and loving teacher. And she loses her ever-loving mind because she's like, he's going to think we poofed up out of nowhere. And they're like, Phoebe, are you embarrassed of Miss Frizzle? And she's like, yeah, I'm embarrassed. And they're like, well, look at all she just did for you. And she's like, you're right. We can poof out of nowhere. But Mr. Seed Plot's back is turned and he doesn't think anything of it. But also, sort of wink, wink, nudge, nudge, he's like, I know all about Miss Frizzle. I've explored her garden a time or two.
He did say that. This man was actively lusting after Miss Frizzle in front of the children.
Yeah.
Like, not even just like a little friendly. He was thirsty. Down bad, I believe, is what we said.
To be fair, she did hit him with Archibald.
And in that voice that she does, she didn't go, Archibald. She went, Archibald.
Yeah, that knowing biblically voice.
Biblically. I fear that they know each other biblically.
I think they do know each other biblically.
I mean, they're kind of cute together. Mr. Seapot's an attractive, younger man.
Yeah, very attractively animated.
The youngish man for all of my
the youngish man.
Belinda blinked. My dad wrote a porno listeners.
So good.
Which I will always forever plug it. If you've not re-listened to it in the last year or two, like go back. It still is evergreen. The youngish man.
The youngish man? Just that first episode with the freaking maze.
Yeah, that's really quite early in the show. A lot to process.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Should you ask me some questions, you think?
I think I should ask you some questions. Okay. So I'm excited for this one
Mhm.
because we can come after this in a couple of different ways. One, earth sciences. You love them.
Yeah, let's get after it.
Two, you're a plants boy. I
Yeah.
mean, you can see a little
Hello.
bit behind
Hello.
you, but for those who have not been to Matt's house, which is the majority of you have
Probably
been to Matt's
almost.
house.
It's probably a 50-50
Hi,
situation.
friends. Covered, completely drenched. The relative humidity is
It's
significant.
a part-time job.
Yeah. Yeah. And you do a wonderful job with it. And then the next point, number 3, is as mentioned, you grew up and currently reside on like an actual agricultural farm.
Yeah.
Not just like a little hobby thing, like
I bet you
bet me.
I have planted millions of seeds.
That was my first question. I've never been on like a big farm.
Mm-hmm.
When you are ready to plant the seeds,
Mm-hmm.
what size bag do they come in for your particular farm? How many seeds? Is it by weight?
Super
Is it like
interesting,
shrimp?
actually.
Is it like seeds per pound? How are we doing this?
That's exactly how it goes.
Okay.
Is like they have a test weight for that particular like lot of seeds,
Mm.
and you have and the size of the seed, and then you get like a jumbo 35-40 count
Yeah.
bag of soybeans. So interestingly enough, corn, at least the way that we do it, still comes in 50-pound bags that you have to like manually fill into the corn planter.
That would take quite some time.
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of the
Okay.
few things that, like, since I've stepped away from farming, that I still will help dad with from time to time because, like, it's a pain in the butt. And, like, he had shoulder surgery a few years ago. So sometimes, like, towards the end of the season, he's like,
Yeah.
I need some assistance. Like, it's
Sure.
just starting to stick a little. So, but there are, like, new planters where you can buy bulk corn and, like, fill directly into it.
Oh.
But yeah, we get them in bulk bags. They're big, or bulk boxes, even
Okay.
that you like literally put a forklift under and then like
Open
the
up
box has a
and
little hatch at the bottom and you
yeah.
open it. And I wish I could tell you how much those weighed, but it's a lot.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's not like
Theoretically,
a ton, a literal ton.
we could probably do the math
Yeah.
on how many seeds you have planted in a lifetime. I also wanted to ask, on a scale that large, I guess when I think about it, I don't really know how seeds are made.
2,000 pounds.
Okay, 2 tons
2
are those
tons.
big boxes of seeds. That's crazy.
Yeah.
I want to take a picture next to one of those boxes the next time you get seeds. I
We have
feel like
some
I'd
right
be
now.
like, well, great. I'm coming over in 1 week. So I want to get into the science of how seeds are made and how plants reproduce. But while we're on the topic of agriculture and scale, I've
Mhm.
never really thought about where the seeds come from. So you get seeds, you grow a plant, you sell the plant.
So you sell the seeds.
Okay.
It all comes full circle.
Wait, hold on. So soybean, you plant a bean, which is
Yep.
seed.
Yep.
Because there's no such thing as a vegetable. Bean is
Yep.
legume, which is seed.
Yep.
But then you harvest it, and those go where? You sell them back to become more seeds again?
No. So there are like
That doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense. Then just
So
don't do it at all.
there are very specific like seed farms, and I believe they're out mostly in the American Midwest,
Okay.
that they grow their crops specifically to be the next year's seed.
Fascinating.
And like sometimes there's shortages on like varieties and stuff because like they make what they make, right? Um, uh, but for predominantly, sorry, I
time.
am wanting to like talk broadly about agriculture, but also like my knowledge of agriculture is contextualized within the mid-Atlantic and specifically like Maryland's Eastern Shore, right? So the out west, they have a lot more variety in like what they're actually raising their seeds for. Some of them are for human consumption,
Mhm.
but the bulk of what we grow on the shore is for livestock feed. Almost none of it that is produced here is for human consumption. It gets
Yep.
sold to the chicken companies to make chicken feed, which then those same farmers feed to their chickens and then sell those
Right.
for you to eat.
Okay. So there are farmers here in the United States who specifically grow fields of crops and let them go to seed or harvest them and process the
Yep.
produce to then for the purpose of creating
Mhm.
seeds to then distribute to other
Yeah.
farmers to
And
grow
like
actual crop.
some of it is still, well, I don't know if it's surprisingly manual anymore, but some of it up until very recently was like surprisingly manual in that, like, excuse me, sorry, to get hybrid corn,
Mm-hmm.
you would grow two varieties of corn next to each other. And
Mm-hmm.
then once the corn went to tassel, which is like the little tree part at the top, where the pollen is, they would go through manually and cut those off. So they couldn't self-pollinate.
Oh,
And that they would have to be pollinated by the corn plants next to them, which were a different variety.
right.
And then only one row would get harvested. The other two would be like, you know, trash or not trash. I'm sure they probably harvest
Sure.
them for like feed or whatever, but
Not for the purpose of which they were
of
planted. Yeah.
seed, yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so that is something that I wanted to ask about, and I feel like we're really getting into the depths of it. But on the topic of the corn example that you just gave,
Mhm.
what is the difference between heirloom and hybrid seed? I feel like there's a big push for like, oh, it's an heirloom tomato. It's an
Mhm.
heirloom tomato. Like, why do we care?
Yeah. So heirloom tomatoes are typically seeds that maybe historically were planted but have fallen out of fashion.
Mm,
But more interestingly, have like started to come back into fashion as like the creme de la creme. So hybrid tomatoes were sort of invented to get more, I would say, like uniform specific tomatoes, right?
hmm
And actually, what's interesting is most hybrid tomatoes are hybridized with cherry tomatoes. So if you take a hybrid tomato and you like collect the seeds from it and plant it, you typically get cherry tomatoes.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Okay. But an heirloom tomato seed will stay true to what it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
it should if it's truly an heirloom and not just a hybrid that they're sort of hawking as an heirloom.
Is there like a black market for secret fake
I
seeds?
don't know, but it would not shock me if there are not like heirloom looking tomatoes that are actually
Sure.
secretly hybrids. So yeah, but in theory, like an heirloom tomato, if you take the seeds from that tomato and replant them, you should get the same tomato back. And they would have been produced by like selectively breeding over time, right? Like, oh, we
Yeah.
really liked, we planted 10 tomatoes of the same variety. We really liked these 5 the best. So we took seeds from those, planted those,
Right.
et cetera.
No
And sometimes,
spoilers, but I think that's how we got pugs too.
yeah, sometimes there would be like crossbreeding that occurred. I don't fully understand the difference between hybrid and like crossbreeding,
Okay.
other than I think that a hybrid seed is like a specific one that has been crossed with 2 varieties the like generation prior.
Okay.
Whereas I believe that a like truly just like crossbreeding something in, you breed it in and then continue it like producing it down the line. I think that's why like hybrids, when you replant them, you don't really know what you're gonna get
Sure.
because that genetic mix is just scrambled up. Odd.
Okay. So hybrid
Mhm,
and the crossbreeding and all that
mhm.
we've done to create more uniform produce, sweeter fruits, more fleshier fruits, right? Like less hard rinds and less pith and less seeds. Like we have
Yep.
seedless fruits.
Mhm. Bloobs.
Is that GMO? Is that genetic modification? How are we using genetic modification officially?
Technically, no.
Okay.
So I think that the labeling of something as GMO is not actually super, super regulated. There is regulation now,
Okay.
but like And like a lot of people, like you have to list that it's GMO or whatever. But technically, no. Crossbreeding something or selectively breeding is not GMO. You are using the genetics that are there and then choosing like which ones you want. That's still not to say that it hasn't been human modified, right? Like we've been hybridizing, modifying plants
Selective
for
breeding, yeah.
a long time. GMO is specifically when you take a specific gene or sequence of genes and insert them into the genome of another plant or organism.
Fruit CRISPR.
Yeah, basically.
Crazy. Okay. So it's like a manual process versus like, oh, the wind blew south this time, and so now we have a new corn.
So we can talk about like Roundup Ready soybeans.
Okay.
Which I know glyphosate controversial, but
yeah.
Roundup Ready soybeans, they found that there was like a type of, I believe it was a type of blue-green algae that Roundup didn't kill it. And they took the gene from that algae and put it into soybeans.
Okay.
To make them resistant to Roundup in the same way that algae was. And so that's why they're considered genetically modified. Because they have
cool science, though.
Non-soybean gene in their gene code now, genetic code.
Yeah.
That's also why they're able to be patented, and like Monsanto can sue you if you save the seed.
Okay. So I was hoping that we would have a little bit of time to talk about copywritten foods.
Yeah.
There's the pink pineapple that if you get your hands on one, the top is cut off so that you can't plant it and reproduce it. I think there is a watermelon one that's copywritten that I've seen less commercially, like in like big ag. I know that there's like some beef, some like very, very expensive lawsuits about people who, for one reason or another, have come into possession of copywritten foodstuffs.
It is illegal to plant Roundup Ready soybeans and then harvest them and then keep the seed to replant.
And that might be controversial. Who's to say?
It should. Well, I don't think it should be controversial. I think it's effed up.
Okay, cool. No, I think that's totally effed up.
You have to come back and buy it every year.
Right. Okay. Can we go back to the beginning?
Let's get back to the start.
Genesis 1:1. God created the heaven and the earth.
Yeah.
So at the very beginning, they show us a little ladybug bus. We go down into what appears to be, thank you, some sort of tiger lily flower. And we're stuck in the nectar. What is the nectar? I often forget about the nectar because not everything that flowers has nectar. Google it. Don't lie to me.
It does. I think some are more nectary than others. No, not all flowers produce nectars.
Thank you.
Those that rely on wind or water to spread their pollen, such as grasses and corn, do not.
Okay.
Some flowers, such as orchids, or species that produce energy-rich floral oils instead of sugar, skip nectar production and use trickery scents or alternative rewards to secure pollination.
I'm sorry, trickery scents or alternative rewards?
Yeah.
Instead of nectar.
So not all flowers do produce pollen, do produce nectar.
Okay. So, but the lily flower that they showed, the bee came in, slurped it all up. And as we know, they take that back home and turn it into honey. We love to see it. So, okay, that was my question about nectar. Because I was like, I don't think everything does a nectar.
Actually, now that I've like gotten my head on straight about it, the end of the episode, they're like, what kind of flower was that? And he was like, oh, we made it up for the show. I've never seen a lily that has a pool of nectar in the bottom.
I can't say that I've ever seen a flower with a visible pool of nectar in it.
Yeah. I know it'd be in there.
I assume it's in there.
But what I don't understand, sorry, this is a little off. The columbine flowers that like the opening hangs down. I've seen bees and hummingbirds like get up in there and I'm like, how does the nectar not fall out? Is there like a trap door that you're poking through? Like what's going on here?
We can all be curious. I don't know why you're asking me.
I'm not asking you per se, so I'm just posing the question to the ether.
You've asked a question. Now I feel like you need to figure it out, because if this stays in, the people are going to be like, I left with more questions than I started. Because I'm curious too. Yeah, when I think about nectar, I know that it exists, but I don't really have a good visual for what it's really doing in there. He's learned something.
There is sort of a trap door.
Oh, fun.
They come to like a little tip at the top, which has like a little teeny kind of ball.
Okay.
And it produces the nectar in there, and then is sort of like held in by cohesion and adhesion.
Okay, fun. Which we know about.
I think like if they overproduced nectar, it could like fall out,
Sure.
right? Because the weight would overcome. But
okay,
generally,
fun. So
and by doing this, they prevent shorter-tongued, unauthorized insects from stealing nectar without transferring pollen.
Unauthorized is so funny to me.
Keep out those unauthorized insects.
Mm-hmm. So what is nectar? What's in there? What's it doing?
Yeah. So it's really just a sugar reliquid. There are, I'm certain, like, minerals and vitamins and things in it as well, but it's mostly sugar. So the plants produce glucose, excrete that in water, and then bees, butterflies, hummingbirds, moths, beetles, they all come along and slurp it up.
So the only reason it exists is it is truly just a special little treat to get those bugs to come, or pollinators, we'll just call them, to then get their pollen pants on, which is my favorite part about bees. I love a pollen pants situation. I have way too many photos of big fat bumblebees sleeping inside flowers with their little pollen pants on. It brings me an immense amount of joy. I don't think the average person can possibly comprehend how much I love it.
It's pretty great.
So leads us to the next step along the journey. So they show the bees coming, they drink the nectar, which we now know just exists to entice them to actually do the pollination. Yeah. So they pick up the pollen on their little pants, and then they move on to another flower to do the same thing, and then the pollen gets deposited. The part that they showed, so I guess the part of the flower that was holding the pollen, Miss Frizzle called it the anther.
I think that's the stamen.
Okay. I've never heard that word before, but I'm like, I know stamen. So is that the...
Well, now there's a couple of names I've learned.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go over the anatomy while we're here.
We have a visual. For those of you who are not watching, sorry. I will explain it also. So there are a couple of different parts that she talked about. The two broad categories are the pistil and the stamen.
Okay.
The stamen is the collective thing that contains the male parts of the flower that produce pollen. The anther is the very top little pad where all the pollen sits. But then there's the filament that holds it up. Okay. Keeps it erect.
How dare you?
Where the little bee leggies can get coated. And then the pistil, being the female reproductive system, is far more interesting and complex.
Typical.
The stigma is at the top. That is the part that needs to make contact with pollen. And then you have the style. And then the style is like the tube that runs down to sort of the base, where you have the ovule and ovary. The ovule being inside the ovary. Yeah. I think, tulips, I think this is kind of a diagram of tulips, of a tulip, are always a great plant to visualize this because they're pretty clear with it. Like you can see the little bulb area where the ovary is. And then like if you should be able to get them to pollinate and produce seeds, like that's where they would be.
Okay. So when our bus landed after seeing the pollen collected from the anther, it landed on top of the stigma, which was like that little pad. Yes. So then it showed, which something I hadn't really thought about was like, then what? Like, I
Yeah.
know, pollen goes into flower. Yay. It's like fertilized.
Hmm.
Congratulations. It's
You did it.
another flower.
Yeah.
Yay. But it showed that these tubes were growing down from the point of contact of the pollen on the stigma. These tubes were going down. And in my
Uh-huh.
notes, I put, it grows a tube into the flower, parentheses, question mark. Like, what?
Yeah. So pollen tubules are a real thing. Basically, the connection of the pollen with the stigma sets off like a chemical reaction that like cascades into this whole pathway of change that results in a tubule forming so that the pollen's genetic material can get into the ovule.
Fascinating. So I assume, just like in, female human anatomy, the ovary and ovules is like holding on to little, we'll call them eggs, I guess,
Basically eggs,
waiting
yeah.
to be fertilized, which then creates the seed once it is
Yeah.
fertilized.
They're unfertilized immature seeds, but not uncommon, not unsimilar to eggs.
Yeah, which I mean, I would qualify eggs as unfertilized seeds
Sure.
if we want to get weird about it.
Yeah.
Like, okay, this visual is actually really helpful to see like a cross section like this.
Mhm.
Um, so flowers,
Mhm.
let's just stick with flowers.
Yeah.
Um, do all flowers have both male and female? I
I
know in
know.
like vegetables, there's male and female.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I know not all plants can self-pollinate and have both male and female parts. Because there's like male and female trees, right?
Right.
Um, so I would say no, that not all flowers have both parts.
Okay. I mean, yeah, there's many flowers. So, okay, maybe I'll rephrase the question to be less definitive. Like, many flowers that I see seem to have both.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I would say the like garden variety flower that you see is going to have both parts.
Yeah, my local Trader Joe's seems to be filled with things that look like this.
Lots of anthers and stigmas and stamens and pistils.
Yeah, and I
Oh
think
my.
especially because they used like a lily inspired flower. I think it's like such a perfect example of it, right? Like you have those big pollen puffs that you need to pick off, otherwise they stain. And you
Ugh.
have the stigma that, is like sticky and drips nectar like on your
Yeah.
table. Why people bring lilies into their home, I don't
And
know. It's
isn't
the flower of death.
lily pollen toxic also?
I think most parts of the lily are toxic.
Yeah.
Like your cat should not be munching on them.
Yeah.
So I guess I ask because you said self-pollination, and I don't really know like when that can happen and when that can't happen.
Mhm. Yeah. So I don't think I know that not everything can self pollinate.
Okay.
And I don't even know if they have both parts, if that means that they can self pollinate.
Right. So I'm like, what happens if, a flower's own pollen gets totally covered or its anther stamen? I told you to remove the thing and now I don't remember what anything is.
Pistil and stamen.
The stamen gets totally covered in its own pollen. And then what? Does it just die without ever getting fertilized? Or like, is it like, nope, this is good enough?
Yeah. So did a quick research.
Mhm.
And most flowers can self or not most. Many can self pollinate. If they have both parts,
Mhm.
they very likely can self pollinate.
Oh, good. Okay.
They have mechanisms to encourage cross pollination because that's like better for genetic diversity, but they can do it if
Okay.
you know Time's running out.
Well, let's talk about time running out. I'm a woman of a certain age.
Mm.
I am about to go to seed, you know? My flower has bloomed, according to the red pill men on the internet. Okay, we'll cut it. Yeah, let me do a segue. Okay.
No, it's great. It's great.
No, and it's fine. You're uncomfortable. Whatever. You don't want to talk about my femininity.
I'm not uncomfortable.
It seems like you're a little
I
uncomfortable.
love talking about the blooming of your flower.
I can't believe you don't want to talk about my eggs.
Do you need me to pick up more tampons for you here next?
No, I still have a bunch. I restocked the last time I remembered to bring some. Okay. So out in the wild, we've got plants, flowers, etc., that are getting fertilized, whether they're doing it themselves, little bees, bugs, pollinators, wasps are coming along and doing it for them.
Coming along.
If this is how we handle the seeds episode, we are never making it through that salmon episode.
No.
Like, it's never gonna happen.
That's gonna be a Patreon exclusive episode.
It's never gonna happen. Okay, so outdoors there are mechanisms for, flowers' life cycles to progress, I suppose. I think about your plants inside the house and even some like we talked about, in the desert with like more limited environmental influence, I don't know, engagement. How do plants inside know when to go to seed? And is it true that often it's like an end of life survival mechanism of like...
It can be an end of life survival mechanism. I mean, some plants, that's like when they flower, they die, right? Like that's
right.
That's it, because they're making way for the next generation.
Death plant, I think of. And
some of those big, like agave or...
Yeah, I was going to say like the
plant.
yucca. I want to say yucca, but agave is better.
But many plants will flower year after year, right?
Oh, true.
So there's a lot of different ways they go about it. Obviously indoors, and they can't be pollinated, so they're just gonna flower and the flower's gonna wilt and die, and there will be no seed production, right? Because if they're not pollinated, they're not gonna produce seed.
Okay. So what are the ones that smell like chocolate?
The Hoyas.
So when your Hoyas bloom, they could have seed, but they just don't.
Yeah, they're trying to attract bats that don't live in my house.
Which we've talked about. Bats should be able to live in houses. Huh. Bats are a primary pollinator for Hoya.
I believe so, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I think a lot of like tropical species get pollinated by bat.
I believe that.
Still, bees and such too, but...
Yeah, there's a lot of bugs in the tropical areas.
Much bug. But yeah, so they won't go to seed, but like I have cross-pollinated my Christmas cactuses before. I've just taken a little Q-tip and rubbed it on the bits. And then they will produce a seed pod, a little cactus berry.
That's so cute. So we talked about they get fertilized, the tube forms. And then, okay, so once the pollen makes its way down into the ovary situation of the flower, the visualization that the show provided us was these kind of creepy like vines were stuck into the
they
eggs.
were sort of like root-like structures. But yeah, I think that the tubules will connect to the eggs, and then once it's fertilized, that like triggers, cell replication and growth, similar to the way that a bebe would occur. They are going to pump nutrients into that seed to give the baby plant the nutrients it needs, almost similar to like an egg yolk, right? Give it the nutrients that it needs to get started until its little leafies can breach the surface and start producing its own food from sunlight. And then a lot of times you did ask about, and I don't think we ever fully covered it, like indoor plants, how do they know when to do it?
Yeah.
And most plants are actually light dependent. the amount of hours of sunlight they get is what triggers them to say, it is time. Uh,
So is
so,
that different for like different species of plants? Like more
mhm,
light they want to seed
yeah,
or less light they want to seed?
it's
Say more.
typically light and temperature.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for example, orchids bloom when it's cooler. So they need a couple of cool nights and they
Mm,
need short light. So they often bloom going into the winter.
okay.
But then you have things like sunflowers, for example, where like they're going to bloom in peak summer when they're getting a lot of light. Mm, And like going back to like agriculture, if you plant soybeans too late, they're
Mm,
heavily light dependent. They'll start to die before they've actually like fully put on seed
whoops.
because even if like it was still warm, but there's not the right kind of light, it's actually super cool. And I think I'll have soybeans this year. You'll have to look. When it gets to be fall and the soybeans are starting to turn, the ones that are under the security light in my
Okay, I've noticed
yard
that
stays
before.
green
Yeah.
longer
Okay.
because they're getting artificial light. They don't realize it's so late in the season.
Yeah. Which is really funny to see.
Mhm.
Okay. No, I love that. Okay. Last question. If you could go to your favorite botanical garden
Yep.
in the world and steal with a 100% guarantee that that plant would survive in your home with your care, what one seed would you put in your pocket?
One seed. No, it would probably be some sort of like freaky deaky orchid.
Yeah.
Mm, They
There's some
really are.
crazy ones.
Yeah, they really are the stars of the show in a lot of ways. And like, I think a little bit unfairly, but also kind of fairly. Like they are really weird and cool.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of really weird and cool ones naturally. And I went to the African American History Museum here in DC, partnered
Mm.
and did a exhibit of orchids back earlier in the spring.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
It was so cool to see what people have created by what we were talking about, like crossbreeding and hybridization. And I wish I could remember specifically like what it is about the orchid, but it's sort of like a big honor if you are a notable person to have an orchid created for you.
Mm.
And so they had, I mean, hundreds of these orchids and then who they were created for, like to represent their legacy, which I thought was a really beautiful thing.
That is very cool. I don't remember who I was with or which one I was at, but we were looking at an orchid and the person I was with goes, "Oh yeah, my grandfather created that one." I'm like, "What?"
I'm sorry.
Like, what do you mean your grandfather created that one?
And again, the curses of growing up in a small town or just in a small world where I'm like, what do you
Yeah.
mean I could have grown up to be an orchid maker? Like, I didn't know. I thought I had to be a teacher or a nurse.
Yeah. Well, the guy who invented Roundup Ready soybeans, I'm pretty sure, is from the Eastern Shore. On that note, want to play a game?
Yeah, let's play a game. Okay. Share Nash. And I'm so excited because, oop,
We have special guest.
yeah, we have a special guest. Hold on. Riverside will not go away.
Get away.
Close. Play again. So, yeah, we have a special guest. Tell us all about him.
We have Mr.
Mm-hmm.
Archibald.
Mm-hmm.
What was his last name?
Seed plot.
Seed Plot. Yes.
Yeah. And he's a real cutie, if I may
Yeah.
say so, in like a shy, nerdy kind of way, but like a
Yeah.
real cutie.
He's cute. He's cute. And you love a soft boy.
Shh, don't tell. I wouldn't mind one, but I don't know. That's also pros and cons. Pros and cons to boys in general.
A lot of cons.
You would know. So obviously,
Miss Frizzle.
yeah.
He
Like,
had
I don't
it down.
love the idea of her settling with him. Like, he seems like just a boy.
I don't know though. I
Like,
feel like
she's a magic woman.
yeah, but like, I don't know. Like, look at Kamala and Doug. Doug's just a boy.
Okay. True.
But he's immensely supportive of her. And
Okay.
he keeps the home fire burning.
That's cute.
So I don't hate it.
Okay. I don't hate it. You convinced me. Who else, though?
In an alternative universe
Yeah.
where they never met, Chaston, his name would not be Buttigieg.
Oh. Okay. We don't know his maiden name.
I'm certain someone does.
We.
I simply do not.
You and I. Okay. Oops. How do you spell his name?
Chasten.
En. Chaston.
He's only 36.
Oh my God. He's just like us for real.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Sometimes when you start looking at like people's successes and you're like,
damn.
You're younger than me.
Chaston James Glesman. No wonder he changed it.
Okay. Yeah. We're going to do JG. And we'll know who we're talking about.
And I just want to be very clear. This is a universe where he and Pete never met because I would never break them up.
No, as always, this is respectful. This is speculative in an alternate universe. We're not homewreckers here.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I like the idea of Archibald not being a heterosexual.
Oh, I think he's a bisexual king for sure.
Yeah. No, I really like that. I feel like who else is super magical that would catch his eye as well? Just someone that's I imagine him having
Mary
like
Poppins?
Yeah. No, I imagine him having kind of like what's the trope of like a golden retriever boyfriend and like a goth baddie?
Oh, yeah.
Like I don't have anyone in particular in mind, but yeah, like I want him to
lesbian,
yeah. I just want him to have like an absolute like scary ass woman by his side. And he's like, isn't she beautiful? All right. Our king was riding his bike.
Yeah. Bicycles king.
Yeah. He's keeping it.
Yeah. I think public transportation also got to be
I was
in there.
going to say, yeah. He loves a metro. He loves a bus line.
Yeah. And he loves a woman with a bus.
Well.
Maybe that's what it is. He's like, this woman, she knows about economical and effective transportation.
Yeah. What else would our boy be driving?
Let's give him a we already did a Rivian for somebody, didn't we?
It was just last week.
Yeah, it was just last week.
You're obsessed.
I am. They're pretty.
That's okay. You think he would have an EV?
I think maybe.
Oh my God, remind me.
But also maybe like, I could see him having just a moped, like he's not a motorcycle boy. But
yeah, he has scooter. Yeah. I mean, we pick Vespas a lot, but I think he would have, off-brand little city bike kind of thing. I want orange.
I was thinking orange too.
Really? We are so in sync today. What other color? I imagine like a
gray.
Bleak. Okay.
Well, maybe he's just a little boring,
And he is. The public transportation, it might not matter what color it is.
Could be gray. Gray train.
Soot. I also think like we can give him like a red scooter. I like the idea.
Maybe
like
that's where he like
shiny apple red.
Yeah.
Is our soft boy employed?
I think he's a botanist.
Cute.
He's also a teacher, possibly, because,
yeah, he stays teaching. I also like the idea of him finding the love of his life and then becoming a stay-at-home dad.
Yes.
Cute. I also love the idea of him having no children, but is a stay-at-home dad.
Yeah. My dream. My
dream. Our dream.
Your dream, anything you want.
Okay, I think a reasonable 3. I think if he were to start a family, I think he could see the vision of 3 kids.
Yeah.
And then because he's a boy, I don't think he would be
525,600
spreading
children.
seed like that.
No.
But like a foster home situation of like,
Okay.
all my students
17.
are my children.
So 17.
17,000.
Just would be.
Okay. Where is our darling dear living? Somewhere with good gardening.
Yeah, he kind of is giving me like Annapolis vibes.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Like a little bit coastal, but you're like,
Yeah,
there's a thriving garden club and
that is cute. Maybe he has like a big farm in like, West Tennessee or something.
sure,
Sure.
Dollywood,
Yeah. I can just imagine him having like a big, beautiful compound there with,
Yeah.
all of his friends.
I can also see him living like up in Canada.
Oh, like an Ontario situation?
Yeah.
Okay.
A lot of wilderness, but like still gets, the good
Yeah.
wildflowers and such.
I think he could be any of these things with any of these people in any of these places. But do you want to find out the truth?
I can't wait.
Okay, we're going to predict the future. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay, congratulations. Archibald ended up with a goth baddie. They have 17 children and a red moped parked outside of their house in Ontario. Somehow, this is his new life as a stay-at-home dad.
I love that for him. A scooter
It's
might be a little
beautiful.
chilly in Ontario in the
Might be a
winter.
little chilly. We didn't really think that one through, but they'd make like those big hand mitts for him. And I don't think he really needs the scooter
Yeah.
all that much. I
He's
think it's
staying
just
at
to
home.
navigate the property and
Yeah.
like,
He's got 17 kids to care for.
yeah, like he probably has access to a bus. So I'm so happy for him.
I am too.
It would have been great if he ended up with Miss Frizzle, but I don't think it was bound to happen.
No, I think she would entertain him for a while and then she would get bored and
That's
go on about her life.
savage. I don't
I
disagree.
don't think you can tie Miss Frizzle down.
But that's the thing. Yeah, I wouldn't say that like she would get bored, but I do think he would have a hard time keeping up.
She dates people for a reason or a season.
Mm-hmm. Well, in this episode, she was able to control time. So I'm not entirely sure that she is a
And
lifetime
she will
kind of
again.
girl.
And she will again. How do you think they learn about dinosaurs?
Oh. Spoilers. I can't wait.
Well, Sarah, thank you for potting with me as always.
Thank you.
It's truly a highlight to get to chat with you and say dumb stuff.
Yeah, so much to cut from this one.
Next week, we will be back with season 1, episode 12, the penultimate episode.
Crazy.
Magic School Bus gets ants in its pants.
Ooh, I'm not looking forward to that one.
Yeah, there's going to be unfortunate sounds and animations
Scuttling.
for sure. Yeah.
I hate their Foley artists. He's too heavy-handed. Like I'll say it. He's too heavy-handed. Can't wait.
Well, thanks everybody for listening, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, that's a wrap on our Yap session for this week. If you enjoyed the episode, subscribe and share. We can be found on Instagram and TikTok at A Girl and Her Gay Watch and on Blue Sky at The Girl and Her Gay Pod.
If you'd like to get in direct contact with us to ask a question or submit a correction, send us an email at agirlandhergaywatch@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you.